Jordan Hollis had survived 18 years aboard the Stellarian orbital hub on three things: black coffee strong enough to strip engine coating, sheer stubborn determination, and the love he carried for his 9-year-old daughter, Penny. As a single father working graveyard, maintenance shifts on one of the busiest orbital facilities in the Terran-Valoran Trade Alliance, Jordan had long since mastered the fine art of controlled chaos. What he had not mastered, apparently, was reading compartment designations correctly when running on 4 hours of sleep and enough caffeine to restart a dead reactor core. The station itself was a marvel of cooperative engineering. Humanity and the Valorants had built it together, and for nearly 4 decades, Stellarian had orbited a strategic point midway between the Sol system and the Andromeda territories, serving as both a commercial hub and a diplomatic outpost. Its rotating sections provided comfortable gravity for species of varying preferences, and its massive docking rings could accommodate everything from personal shuttles to interstellar cargo freighters. Jordan had started working there fresh out of technical school, a young man with more enthusiasm than skill, completely unaware of what the future held. Now, at 46, he knew every conduit, junction box, and temperamental atmospheric processor from levels 12 through 3. The station had become a home in ways he never anticipated. That had happened on a Wednesday because of course it did. Wednesdays aboard Stellarian had a cruel sense of irony that Jordan had learned to respect over 2 decades. The station's artificial daylight simulated a perpetual overcast afternoon, leaving everyone slightly irritable, and the recycled air carried a faint temps of ozone. Jordan hurried along the corridors, carrying a diagnostic toolkit as heavy as Penny herself, aiming for what he thought was Maintenance Bay 47 Bravo. His supervisor, the perpetually stressed Valoran Toiver Crest, had demanded the quarterly thruster alignment report 5 minutes ago. That made Jordan approximately 7 minutes behind schedule. Running, Hollis, came the sardonic voice of his coworker, Dmitry Vulov. Jordan ignored him. "2 wants the thruster report." Dmitry's laugh echoed, dry and cruel. "I would settle for not getting fired. Where's the fun in job security?" Rounding a corner, Jordan found himself in the executive level, the corridors gleaming with brushed titanium that screamed expensive. He felt absurdly out of place in his worn utility jacket and grease-stained work pants. The walls displayed holographic artwork, abstract patterns that shifted as he passed. He located the door, squinted at the holographic panel, and saw the symbols for 47 Bravo, what he believed were 47 Bravo. The translation software had been glitching for weeks, leaving Valoran script a frustrating challenge. He pressed the access panel, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. He froze. This was not a maintenance bay, not even close. It was a private executive changing room, soft-lit with curved walls, and the floor covered in sound-absorbing material. Half-turned, fastening a shimmering violet bodysuit with an elegant gray overcoat, was Iridia Vala, Director of Operations, billionaire heir, and the Frost Queen of Stuff. Her pale lavender skin and silvery hair gave her an ethereal quality, and her violet eyes widened fractionally as they met his. For 2.5 seconds, neither moved. Then, Jordan's fingers went slack. The toolkit slipped, crashing to the floor with a thunderous clatter. Tools skittered across the deck like they were fleeing. "I am so incredibly sorry," he stammered, voice 3 octaves higher than normal. "I thought this was Maintenance Bay 47 Bravo. I have the wrong room. I am leaving immediately." Vale blinked once, a faint flush coloring her cheeks. "Mr. Hollis, is it not?" Her voice was cool, precise, enunciated perfectly. Jordan's stomach dropped. "Yes, ma'am. Director Vale, this was entirely my fault. I did not intend to intrude. I take full responsibility." She bent to pick up a hydrospanner near her boot and held it out. "You may want to collect your tools, Mr. Hollis, unless you intend to leave them as a permanent installation." Jordan scrambled, gathering the scattered equipment, his face burning hotter than a fusion reactor. She watched, expression unreadable, then said, almost casually, "The compartment designations here use the old Valoran administrative format. Maintenance bays are in Sector 14, not 12. "An easy mistake," Jordan nodded miserably, muttering deliberately unfamiliar. Her lips twitched a ghost of a smile. "Yet here you are." He backed toward the door, clutching his toolkit like a shield. Vale tilted her head slightly, an elegant gesture he could not ignore. "Mr. Hollis, take the service corridor behind the hydroponics bay. Faster and fewer mistaken entries." "Thank you," he said, fleeing. For 72 hours, Jordan expected security forces to appear at his door. HR notifications. Termination, nothing came. He worked with nervous energy, each supervisor's glance a trigger for panic. Dmitry teased him mercilessly. "It's a woman, isn't it?" "Yes," Jordan admitted. Penny, perceptive as ever, noticed his distraction. "Did you make someone angry?" she asked. "Apologies fix most things," she declared with 9-year-old certainty. On the 5th day, Vale's assistant, Melissa Apprentice, appeared beside Jordan's workstation. "Director Vale would like to see you in her office," she stated, expressionless. Jordan's heart leaped. Is this about last week's incident? I am simply conveying the request. Mr. Hollis, follow me. Jordan followed her, heart hammering as they passed curious executives. Vale's office, atop the command spire, offered a breathtaking view of the stars. She stood by the window, back to him, in a deep violet tailored suit. Mr. Hollis, thank you for coming. Melissa, you may leave us. Jordan sank into one of the chairs, feeling like a student called to the principal's office. Vale moved to sit across from him. I am not interested in disciplinary action. I am interested in your work, specifically, your efficiency proposal regarding the station's power distribution network. Jordan blinked. He had almost forgotten. You read it. I read all submissions. Most are not worth the digital space. Yours was different, well-researched, practical. Your modifications could save 12% on annual energy expenditure. Jordan swallowed. I've crawled those conduits for 18 years. You notice the inefficiencies humans miss on paper. Exactly. I want you to lead a pilot program in Sector 23's secondary reactor. Are you serious? I rarely am otherwise. You have 18 years practical experience. That is precisely the expertise I need. They launched the pilot program, and gradually Vale began appearing at Jordan's workstation with increasing frequency. She asked questions about metrics, lingered slightly, and noticed Penny's crayon drawing laminated on his toolkit. Your daughter? She asked. Yes. She told me it was a picture of me fixing the stars. A bond began to form. Vale's visits extended beyond professional needs. She helped with homework, attended Penny's school events, and joined them for casual meals. Penny adored her. Jordan, unaccustomed to this attention, was quietly terrified. 2 months in, an emergency call from Penny's school prompted Vale to personally transport him across the station in her sleek craft. Penny's relief at seeing her father and her curiosity about Vale broke the ice. Vale knelt to Penny's level, explained her Valoran heritage, and amused her with tales of lavender skin and mineral pigments. The pilot program succeeded beyond expectation. Sector 23's energy consumption dropped 14%, and the project expanded. Jordan rose to a supervisory role while keeping his old toolkit, a symbol of his roots. One evening, with Penny at a sleepover, Vale admitted, I have not been entirely honest about my motives. When you walked into my changing room, I intended to have you terminated. Then, I read your file. I was curious, and I decided terminating you would be a waste of talent. Jordan's heart raced. Are you saying you have feelings for me? Yes, she admitted, the vulnerability in her eyes a rarity. They reached for each other, tentative and cautious. Best mistake I ever made, Jordan whispered. Perhaps it was exactly where you were meant to be. Vale replied, her warm smile reaching her eyes. Over time, Penny adapted beautifully. She learned Valoran script, asked endless questions, and bonded with Vale. Jordan's station-wide efficiency improvements became standard protocol. Jordan and Vale married on the observation deck, surrounded by stars, friends, and Penny, the living bridge between two cultures. Years later, Penny, grown with children of her own, would recount the story, the frantic mechanic, the Frost Queen, the wrong door, the scattered tools, and the improbable connection that followed. Some accidents, she would say, are the best things that ever happened, and some doors, indeed, are meant to be opened.